Episode 2 of Uzumaki has aired and fans are spiraling out of control.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't resist, but it is true. Episode 2 is dropped and, fans are not happy because, let me tell you, it's not good. I mean, not from a story perspective. The story is, well, it's Uzumaki, and if you're a fan of the manga, you're still going to be on board. But the animation, oh my god, did it take a dip. So welcome back to Words Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and yes, if you hadn't heard, folks are, they're even comparing it to a PS2 game. We got this from Games Radar, as Uzumaki Episode 2 gets compared to a PS2 game. One of the horror anime's producers addresses the animation downgrade. We were screwed over. And, this isn't the first time an animation studio could be screwed over. Unfortunately, he doesn't go into a lot of details. We're going to sort of piece together what we can. I'm going to explain why. I do feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, it's sounding a lot like episodes 3 and 4 of this 4-part series are going to be on the same trajectory as season 2, or episode 2. So really, only episode 1 will be the gorgeously animated masterpiece we saw, but there also is hope. Before we get into this article, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and look, man, I love Uzumaki. I love Junji Ito's work. I love Uzumaki, which is probably his most famous work. The manga is great, and I was enamored with the show. In fact, if you're watching this, today, over tonight on Gooch's channel, we're going to be doing a roundabout, panel show about the show thus far on his animation block, and I'm really excited to talk about it, even if this episode doesn't have a lot going for it in terms of things that are aesthetically pleasing. But you know what? I'm going to try and be positive and say the fact that it's so revoltingly ugly maybe helps elevate the horror elements. I'm trying to be real kind here because I have been looking forward to this project for a while. Uzumaki's animation controversy has been addressed by one of its producers. Yes, we have somebody who actually worked on the show opening up about it. And this is a still from the first episode. And let me tell you, the first episode was gorgeous, in a completely demented, horrifying way, but it did everything right. And then, unfortunately, from the jump, episode 2 is just, it is a mess. From the way the characters move, to the lip flaps, to the several images just being stills as opposed to animated, as if they ran out of budget, or when they are animated, it just doesn't have the correct depth. I get they're trying to make it look like the manga, but the manga is moving. They did that so well in the first episode. Why weren't they able to continue? Well, we might have an answer. After creepy pitch perfect first episode, all signs are pointing to new anime Uzumaki picking up where it left off and delivering a horror masterpiece in the second episode. Now, unfortunately, that didn't happen. In fact, the latest installment is notable for its severe downgrade in animation. Now, look, let's compare this to One Punch Man. One Punch Man was done by Studio Madhouse, and a different studio took over season 2. Everyone was bitching and moaning about the downgrade in visual quality for One Punch Man season 2, and I'm gonna be real. It still looked good. It wasn't as good because Madhouse is the tip of the iceberg, the cream of the crop, top of the chain when it comes to animation studios. This isn't, Madhouse. This is Production IG. So, the same people, if you watched the Terminator, the most recent Terminator anime on Netflix, actually, same studio. Now, Madhouse, yeah, they trade off. They got a different studio for One Punch Man, and yeah, it was a downgrade just because it wasn't Madhouse, but it was still very fluid. The animation was great, and a lot of people, in my opinion, were throwing a fit over nothing. This here is actually worth complaining about, regardless of the fact that, again, from a story perspective, I still really enjoy it, and if you enjoy Uzumaki, you're going to keep enjoying it. I'm going to keep watching the episodes. There's only 2 left. It's only a 4-episode miniseries, and, I mean, I can put up with the bad animation to get this good quality story, but, yeah, the viewer's pointing out multiple janky moments across the runtime to range from a bizarre running animation to a clear drop in art quality. See for yourself below. Here's just a little bit.
Come back here! Hasadori! Stop right there!
I can't run any further.
Like, that's pretty rough. Especially considering, again, you saw not just the animation, but look at the character designs here, and again, compare that to the just beautiful detail in a still like this. Now, to be fair, a bit later on, let's see, do we get what actually happens here? Nope, it doesn't seem to do. So the animation for what happens in this next portion was actually pretty cool. It seems like there must have been some sort of budgetary issue or something, because there are moments in this episode that look really good, and I think it's because whoever was working on the show, the animators, the directors, whatnot, did have the mental wherewithal to know things aren't looking good because of the situation that we're in. They claim they got screwed over. We'll see how in a moment. Maybe we need to pick some key points to focus on and make good. And so there are some moments in this episode, particularly when something horrifying happens, where the animation does jump back up. Maybe not quite that first episode quality, but notably better than throughout the rest of the anime, or the rest of the episode. Fans of Junji Ito's original manga have inevitably not been kind to the latest efforts. One Redditor even compared the animation to a PS2 era game. Ouch. Which wouldn't actually be that bad if it was like this from the beginning. It was consistently like that, because PS2 animation's charming. Just not when you're, expecting something amazing after a home run first episode. Speaking out on Blue Sky in a series of now deleted posts, Toonami co-creator and Uzumaki executive producer Jason DeMarco addressed the complaints and hinted at behind-the-scenes issues driving the new anime's drop-off in quality. It's fine. We knew it would happen. I can't talk about what went down, but we were screwed over. The options were A, not finish and air nothing, call it a loss. B, just finish and air episode 1 and leave it incomplete. Or C, run all 4, warts and all. Out of respect for hard work, we chose C. Now, this is an interesting little moral dilemma, philosophical dilemma. Look, you got this television show. You know while you're creating it, you are being screwed over by someone. He doesn't mention who, but you're being screwed over by someone or some force of the upper echelon. And these are the options you give. I probably would have gone with option 3 as well. I got a whole team under me that's making something that they're passionate about, that they love, they want to show the world, and look, if it's to be believed, it's not the studio's fault or the animator's fault, and I would rather see the story to completion than just blue ball me with a beautiful episode 1. So, yeah, I can't blame him for that. DeMarco continued, after waiting so long, it makes sense that people would be mad. Unfortunately, I can't tell them who to blame it on. But someone is definitely at fault here, and we all just had to do our best when things imploded. Maybe others would have made different choices. We did the best we could with what we had. But again, a lot of people were hard on this show, and I didn't think the actions of just 1 or 2 people should be the reason it never saw the light of day. Maybe that's the wrong choice. I truly don't know. But those people have a right to be annoyed and disappointed. Now, I like what he's saying here. And again, I agree. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Junji Ito. I'm a fan of Uzumaki. I'm a fan of what they're at least trying to do, because the story is still there, and the story is why we like it, although to be fair with manga, the visuals are half the story. So I'm gonna keep watching, but also won't turn a blind eye to the fact that this wasn't good. However, I mean, you also know I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. Remember when Dragon Ball Super first aired, and how terrible, and I mean utterly awful, that animation was? Well, the reason behind it was because One Piece had been popping off, and Toei Animation took all their top-tier animators and pulled them off of Dragon Ball Super during its debut episodes and put them on One Piece. How are you going to have the B team run something as iconic as the return of Dragon Ball to television after years? Now, the plus side, and something that maybe we can fingers crossed hope will happen, if you didn't get into Dragon Ball Super till much later, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, or have only heard about it in passing. Because they did go back and fix the animation on the DVD or the Blu-ray releases. Now, could we get something like that for Uzumaki? If we could, that would be really cool. Just imagine we get 4 episodes, and they're not visually pleasing, but we get a good story. They pick some moments that are visually pleasing because they know where to put their money and direct their efforts after being screwed over on the back end. And then when it comes to DVD or Blu-ray nowadays, they get the chance to touch it up, re-edit, refix it, just like they got over at Dragon Ball. Maybe it's a pipe dream, but it's something that I'm giving a pass isn't the right word. I'm going to accept and put up with, and I'm going to try and not let it harm my overall enjoyment of the show. That being said, well, already this can't be a 10 out of 10. Like I don't know if I'll even do a review for it, but this does not have a chance now at being a 10 out of 10 anime, because the quality drop was so egregious. But again, just like with the Dragon Ball Super situation, it was studio executives at the tip top that made the decision that screwed over the early seasons of Dragon Ball, and I'm sure in this instance, it was the suits up top that also screwed over DeMarco and the crew from Uzumaki. But those just, it's just speculation. All in all, these are my opinions. I want to know yours in the comments down below. Are you going to keep watching Uzumaki? Did this really bother you? Were you watching it to begin with? Let me know, and of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about anime, but video games, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 130 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. We're only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.